guess this is the part of the podcast where I start recording. There's a little bit of banter in the beginning, as there always is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now that that's over, welcome to the podcast where we talk about anything and everything that comes out of the crapshoot. I'm your host, JD, and this is my co-host,
Jimmy, or sometimes James.
I call him James. Other people call him Jimmy.
It's
It just
weird,
works like
but
that.
not.
It just works like that. A lot of things happened this week, hasn't it, James?
Yeah, a lot of things.
A lot of things happened. So I'm going to talk about the most recent one that's happened and brought up like literally last night when I was just gaming with the good old boys. Friday night gaming.
Push them good old boys.
Yeah, them good old boys. Those sweet boys.
Sean Connery, how'd you get in here? Push them
No,
good
so,
old boys.
Okay, so you know what happened to the Black Panther actor, Chadwick Boseman?
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman, he died of colon cancer last night.
Yeah, he died of colon cancer last night as I was playing games with my friends. And one of my friends was just like, "Yo, are they coming out with a Black Panther 2?" And I'm like, "I think so." And I'm like, "Probably." And they're like, and he's like, "No, they're not." And then he's like, and I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Chadwick Boseman just died." I'm like, "What?"
Why do you even say that then?
I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got it like 10. He died like 10 minutes ago, or at least the news of him dying came out 10 minutes ago." That's crazy.
Yeah, it's I didn't expect it because, he never like shows any of the pictures or like shows his public appearance of when he was doing treatment and everything.
Or when he was like, did he talk about it?
No, he kind of alluded to it, which I didn't realize at the time because they were talking about how he had bulked up for one role, then slimmed down, and then bulked back up.
Mm.
And they were like, "Are you okay doing that?" He's like, "No, I'm not okay, but that's for another reason." And they're like, "Oh, can you talk about it?" He said, "If I live to talk about it, I will."
Well, he didn't. So
Yeah,
I guess
sadly.
we're going to talk about it. Yeah, it's tragic. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. I wasn't a huge fan of him or anything, but just always bad when someone dies, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've made it clear that I don't like Marvel movies, but that doesn't mean I don't like the actors or the people who are in those movies.
Yeah. I did see Black Panther's ending cutscene. That was one of one of the few Marvel movies I haven't watched, actually, is also Black Panther. Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and the Guardians of the Galaxy movies I haven't watched. So, yeah. I just know people liked Black Panther. So
It's a very big cultural thing, It's
Yeah,
very important
yeah.
that the movie got made and was out there.
yeah, so at least he's got that under his legacy, I guess. Did you know that Chadwick Boseman was 43 when he died?
Yeah,
That's crazy. I
which
thought he was
is
so much younger. He looks so
as
much younger.
yeah, he looked very young for his age and everything.
He looks like he's in his 20s. I'm not gonna lie. He looks like he's 25 maybe.
Yeah, I thought he
26.
like was just entering 30s and everything, but it is kind of ironic that Jesus, that sounds so bad. Oh my God.
What?
Saying it's ironic after the guy just died, Jesus. But it's a little ironic the age that he died at and the day he died on.
Why?
He died at the age of 43 on Jackie Robinson Day, and he also played Jackie Robinson, who is infamous for the number on his jersey being the number 42.
My God. So many
I don't
coincidences.
know, maybe it's a universal thing or something like that, but I mean, dying a year after the age of like where the numbers matched and everything, and he died on the day of that happening. It's just so insanely like coincidental.
Yeah, that's a little bit creepy actually to think about. Anyway, let's deviate from the really sad topic. So just rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. And let's talk about something else, which I want to talk about because we were talking about this just before I decided to record the podcast today when you were eating your shawarma or whatever.
I hate shawarma.
Yeah, so that hentai game that we played.
Wow, that's
I
the
loved it.
transition.
Yeah,
That's the leap we're making.
yeah, that's the leap that we're making. I mean, we're not like super close with Chadwick Boseman or anything, so it's just like
No, I
another
know.
dude dying.
It's just. Yeah, continue.
Don't worry, I know how to transition things very easily. So that hentai game that we played, The problems that I was talking about. Oh, crowd peaking a little bit. The problems that we're talking about was that it was taken down
I saw that. I saw in your
twice.
description that you said it was like third time's a charm.
It was taken down twice. Now, the crazy thing about that is, okay, if it was taken down the first time, and I did realize, I understood why it was taken down the first time, right? Because we're dealing with like, well, we're basically dealing with content that YouTube doesn't want to have on their platform, right?
Right.
But the problem I have with how they took it down was that in that video we never actually saw like an actual sex scene or anything.
No, it was
We
very
never
weird
got to the good
because
part.
despite the title of the video and the games that were played, we never got to those type of areas.
Yeah, we
I got
never
so
got to those
uncomfortable
parts.
during the last game that we kind of like stopped it right before.
So what I was thinking when they first took it down, I was like, all right, I'll just like, so it's not because I showed any sex scenes. So I was like, all right, so I didn't touch the video. I just changed the images that were shown in the thumbnail and some of that were in the beginning of the video. So I blurred like some of them out the second time I uploaded it, right? Because I was like, maybe these images are a little bit too much to handle for YouTube, even though the images themselves didn't actually show that much. So I blurred out the images, uploaded it again, and it got taken down again. I didn't get a strike for those videos. So there's that. That's good. That's good news. But the third time, the third time I was just like, fuck it, and I censored everything. Like, I don't know if you saw the third upload of it, but like when we played Honey Pop, any girl that showed up, I censored her. I censored
So
any
I was
woman that
like,
showed up.
damn,
And
JD. I
in the
mean, I
second
thought they
game,
were
I
like,
blurred out the image every time. Every time that we went to the menu, even though the menu's images were already censored, I just blurred it. I just mosaiced it out. And then the third game, I didn't have to do anything because the third game was like, it was. I hate to say it's the most wholesome looking, but that's exactly what it was.
most wholesome looking,
It
not
was
the
the most
most
wholesome
wholesome.
looking, but it was also the most disturbing to you, James,
Like
as far as I
inside,
know.
I died.
When I was watching back, editing that video, I was like, God damn, that the light novel part was just so funny because you kept, I know I could tell that you were super uncomfortable with like the topic that they were talking about and
It
how much of a
was.
creep the main character was. And
I
so
was losing my mind.
yes, I would have changed his voice lines, but I was just like, these voice lines are so perfect. They're so perfect at
No,
making you uncomfortable. And I try to make my character impression as like creepy as possible to try and get you to like just be like, ugh, ugh. So what happened was that you were making up your own random shit about like the sister having like lung cancer or something. And like I was just ignoring you and saying my own lines or saying the lines that are on the screen.
talking
God.
about. No, I said I have a nicotine addiction. What the fuck are you talking about,
And,
hemorrhoids?
and you were so very clearly trying to get me to follow along with your um
No, no, I was so happy that you weren't because it was like it
oh
was the
okay.
delusion of just the this is the
Just
outside
because when I was
person
watching it back
perspective.
it was so like convincing that you were like that the story was that I was trying to make you uncomfortable and you were trying to get me to like follow along with the whole like lung cancer storyline thing that you made up. At least it seemed that way on like from the outside. It was super funny.
I loved how uncomfortable and everything it was. It was perfect for the situation. How funny. If you had started following along, it probably would have the video would have lasted longer. But I think it was funnier that you didn't.
Yeah, actually, you ended at like as far as I remember, you ended like at a perfect time.
Right
Like
before
right
anything
before we get to
happened.
the good stuff is what I was talking about.
Let's not refer to whatever was about to happen as good stuff.
Um,
I I was listening back and I got so uncomfortable that I had to stop it several times for that part. I'm like, oh my god, it's just like I remember.
yeah, when you were watching it back,
Yeah.
was it like the same level of uncomfortableness? Were you a little bit more?
It was weirder because it was like sort of an outside perspective on the situation.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the people who click on the video and watch it are already used to the kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, I was confused on why the video was taken down so many times because the point of the video wasn't to show you hentai games. It was to show you or it was to show the viewer like the reactions of my friend who's never played hentai games, what it's like if I just played hentai games in front of him. And I think we get that. I think you get that feeling pretty well.
Yeah.
Not to say that was like my, not to say I was like a genius or original idea doing that, but it was really fun. Of course, though, I
Don't
think,
humble yourself. Give yourself a little bit of.
yeah, yeah. You know what? I did that. I'm a
Call yourself a
genius.
genius for doing what you did.
Oh yeah, dude. The puzzle parts of the games were so funny. Some of the parts, most of the parts, I was really hoping to cut out most of the puzzle parts of the game and just leave in the cutscenes and stuff. But like our banter during the puzzles were just so funny to me. I couldn't cut it out. So the video was like an hour long because I left in all the puzzle parts.
I wanted to stay quiet during those parts because I wasn't sure if you want to concentrate, but I couldn't help myself but just like start chiming in every now and then.
Yeah, you kept trying to chime in and give me like tips on how to do the puzzles and stuff. And then I would either ignore you or do something else like entirely. I remember one part, there was like a bit we did where you were like you see that piece over there, you should take that piece and move it to the left. And I'm like, huh? This piece? And I kept picking the wrong piece.
Aww.
Let me preface this, okay? We don't have webcams on when we're talking to each other. Not even now when we're doing the podcast. So I can't see what James is talking about. Like I don't know what he's talking about. So
I
when
was
he's like
hovering my
that
mouse
piece
over it,
there,
and I'm like, it's right there.
you're gonna go pick that piece over there. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like what the fuck? But I was like, I don't know. It was super funny to me. Because after like 3 minutes of trying to figure out what you were talking about and what move you were trying to make, you were like finally you see the move I'm trying to tell you to make, and I'm like yeah I see it, but it's a bad move, so I'm not gonna do it.
And then you just fucking zoom over to the other side of the board and
Yeah.
immediately hit something.
Yeah, so I do another move and stuff. It was just so funny.
I
God.
love I love the moment where you were like telling me like, no, that won't work, you idiot, and then you went over and did something. It just it was like a negative effect, and you're like, oh no, oh.
No, that was another bit that was like I think it was like you were like, or I was like, I think I'm gonna lose this. I'm gonna lose this puzzle. Like I can't. I don't have enough moves left to get to the end. And you were like, no, I believe in you. You're the genius. I'm like, don't put pressure on me. And you're like, feel all the pressure. Feel all the
Feel
pressure.
the pressure. Feel the
Yeah.
pressure.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh shit. So I went like quiet for like 5 seconds. I did a move, and it was a bad move. So I was like, fuck, I should have done that. And that was that. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the video, you were like, I thought there was gonna be like Game Grumps-ish, and I was like, yeah, it is Game Grumps. Um, and when you said that, or when I said it was like more like Super Mega, and you were like, Super Mega would never do something like this. I was like, wait, are you serious about that, James? Were you serious that Super Mega would not do something like this?
I think I was more trying to make a bit and wasn't actually thinking.
Because
I do think they did make a video like this, but I just couldn't remember. It was like, no, I'm right. I'm not gonna try and.
I know that Game Grumps has done videos on like hentai visual novels games. That I know they've done that. I've also known that Super Mega has done videos that are content wise way more inappropriate than what we did. So yeah, I kind of want it to be more Super Mega-ish than Game Grumps-ish. They're a little bit more family friendly now, and I say it just a little bit more because they still curse like hell, but it's whatever.
And smoke and drink a gallon of milk.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they smoke so much weed in their office; it's just filled up with smoke all the time. That's why Matt and Ryan moved out. It's because Aaron's huge meth problem. The apartment, the office they were working in was just filled with like secondhand smoke. They couldn't handle it.
Couldn't handle the combat that would go with the meth smoke and the weed smoke.
Yeah, it's a horrible combo. They almost died. From like they told you in the latest mailbox opening video. They were like, yeah, we almost died in the office.
Wait, are you being serious? I thought you were making a joke about the meth thing.
Yes, I was making a joke. It was all false. I'm pretty sure Super Mega Views have this ongoing bit going on where they just claim that they do random stuff do like really bad stuff all the time when they didn't do it. Like I'm scrolling, sometimes I scroll through the comments of the Super Mega videos, and like some of them are like, oh my god, I can't believe Matt's such a racist. He said the N word so many times in this video, and it's like in the video title's like, I give my friend bubblegum shrimp or something. It's just so funny. I think in the latest one where like Ryan does like a tutorial, he's like how to draw a Chinese dragon. The comments were just full of like, well, I'm so glad he managed to get through his therapy of like being a meth addict or something. Is I hope he doesn't like go back to being a drug addict and stuff. And there's just comments like that all over the place.
So, by you saying that you want us to be more super mega than Game Grumps, you mean that we have to create the bit that we are not who we are?
Hmm? No. I mean, I don't want to be like exactly like them. We could draw inspiration from them, but it's not like I mean, we're not them. We're
Yeah, we're
better.
crapshoot.
No,
Are we? We're better.
no. But I don't know. I just find their kind of humor really funny. Even if we don't have that humor in our videos, I think it still can be funny, just in a different sense. Funny looking, probably.
Probably.
Okay, back to the hentai video because I just have one last thing to talk about that. I was angry that it was taken down so many times because the one I posted before, like I thought that was so much worse, like or more inappropriate content wise than the one that was taken down twice. That video still hasn't gotten taken down, and it still
Hope it
keeps
keeps
getting
up.
it's still up and it keeps getting views. So I'm like, all right,
Have you got any type of comments on it yet?
nope, no comments, thank God. The only comments I'm expecting are just like, dude, this your content shit. You suck ass at playing like doing puzzles and stuff. And I'm like, ah, shit. I knew this was gonna happen.
I'm not an artist. Give me a break.
I'm not an
That's
artist,
still my
James. Give me a
favorite part.
break.
I'm like, no, JD, you just draw a straight line. You're like, damn it, James, I'm not an artist as you draw the most crooked line ever.
Yeah, I know. By the way, it wasn't a bit. By the way, when I said I couldn't draw a straight line, I don't know how I did
Oh,
it.
I thought you were like purposely fucking it up.
No. I drew straight lines like twice in those puzzle games, and they were all just on like accident. I was just doing it, and it just became straight all of a sudden. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so good. No, but the other times were like real. I actually couldn't draw straight lines. I think I could only draw straight lines, like vertical and horizontal straight lines, not like slanted ones or like diagonal ones.
I remember the part where it was like just draw a straight line going down these boxes, but I swear to God, even upon rewatching, we did that on the first try.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was just weird. I'm just
It was-
gonna write it off to weird game design and physics. I think at one point you said I don't know if I cut it out or not, but you said like, JD, stop doing this shit. We understand the physics of this game. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, we don't. I have no idea what the hell's going on. No idea how these physics work.
I loved how it was like, okay, I understand the physics. It's not going to work perfectly, but it will work. And then it did the complete opposite of what I thought. I'm like, maybe it just does whatever it wants.
It
You know,
literally
maybe it
just
doesn't apply
does.
by any rule that
It
it's
just
created.
do.
It
It
just, if the water goes upside down, that's just how it works on this level.
Yeah, and you're like, let the weight distribution like even it out, and you're like,
Because
I guess not.
it showed it that it was shaking, and I'm like, okay, cool. It can clearly tell it there is weight applying to it, and then it just froze. I'm like, never mind.
Yeah, I just fucking froze in place like it was just ethereal, like it was freaking gorilla glue. I, I don't know about that one. I don't know, but I never used gorilla glue.
No, you better not edit that one out.
The gorilla glue?
Yeah, you better keep it in.
I don't I don't edit the podcasts much. I don't cut anything out of the podcast, James, because
There's
I don't need to. Everything is gold, or at least
unlike the
silver.
lucky one.
I mean, I would cut out a lot of stuff out of the podcast if it was just full of like dead air, but we're like always talking, so why not? We did this
And
bit
that's
already,
the bit,
James.
everyone.
We did this bit already,
That's
James,
the
in the
bit,
first
everyone.
episode. We already did this in the first episode. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet. The first
Yeah,
episode. It's up on my channel. Click on my little profile there, and
it's on my channel as we're already on your channel.
yeah, that like button could use a little bit of tickling.
You know, just you just hit it with the back of a
Yeah.
surfboard. You know, just bah.
Take your tongue and just lick that subscribe button.
Well,
I mean, James, you have to tell viewers to do this kind of stuff anyway, because they'll just forget or something. And
okay.
also you got to make it interesting, because if you just tell them to press it, they won't. I don't think they'll do it.
Okay. Here, I'll give it a good try right now.
All right.
Click that fucking like button, motherfucker.
You
I'm
did
fake holding a gun to my computer screen.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's what they imagined exactly when you said that. By the
I
way,
got a little loud. I'm a little worried that my family just heard me very quietly scream.
yeah, is
Click
that a
that
worry that
fucking
you have
like
all the time?
button.
Is your family hearing you screaming?
I'm worried they hear me screaming stupid shit like that.
I'm not too worried about my family hearing me, because they scream all the time. They're always screaming at each other about something. Why is the dog dead? And I'm like, I don't know. I shot it with a gun. Of course it's dead.
I don't know. I shot with a gun. Why'd you shoot with a gun?
Because I didn't
I
have a
don't know.
sword. It's like, why the fuck would you need a sword?
Well, clearly you don't know.
I don't know. They just do weird. They just say it's that's not the conversation they're having, but it's like it's something stupid like that. Like what? Like why is this plate over here? I put it over here and you moved it. And he's like, well, I don't remember moving it. And it's like, God, shut up. All right, no one cares. Just take the plate. It's like 3 feet from where it was.
That's literally a bit from one of my favorite. Okay, so I think I've talked about it on your podcast before, but I do love musicals.
I've never heard of that. I don't
Oh,
recall
okay.
that on the podcast.
So I like musicals. I don't like traditional musicals like Hamilton and stuff. I like just
Oh,
stupid comedy ones
oh,
like,
comedy musicals.
yeah,
Okay.
like Star Kid and stuff. And
Uh
they've
huh.
got this one called The Guy Who Doesn't Like Musicals.
Yeah.
Ironic, I know. And
Crazy.
in it, one of the characters gets their head whacked over with like a garbage can lid, and then his brain falls out.
What the fuck?
It's
That's a
better
little.
explained in the show, but
Okay.
the characters are like, "Oh my God, you just killed him." He's like, "I didn't kill him." And they're like, "But his brain fell out." "That can't be his brain. It's blue." "Well, how would you know? You're not a doctor." "Well, how would you know? You're not a doctor." And then they just start yelling at each other.
But it's a musical.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a guy who doesn't like musicals.
Brains blue. Da ba dee da ba die.
Come
No.
and get your cup of coffee.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's a fact about me, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. Fun fact about James segment. He likes musicals, but not the classic
Dun,
ones.
dun,
Not
dun, dun.
not the cultured
James
ones.
likes musicals.
Not the cultured musicals. He likes the comedy ones. The stupid musicals.
I don't know. I don't like musicals that take themselves too seriously. I like ones that just have like good fun songs and everything. Star Kid is just hilarious in and out.
Yeah. I guess so. Maybe I should take a look at it eventually.
They're they're a great way to pass time.
Good to know. So, James, have you noticed anything different with my microphone?
It sounds better.
Yes, and that's because I got a new one.
Whoa!
Whoa,
What kind?
crazy. Anyway, you know it was my birthday like a week ago, right?
Yes.
So, yeah,
Wait,
it was my
what?
birthday
I
about a
had
week.
no idea.
Yeah, crazy. It was my birthday a week ago.
Weird, as if I was there.
Yeah, and I didn't get any presents or anything. We didn't even celebrate it, but
Oh,
what happened was I had to buy like books and stuff for my college stuff, online class, and I was just like maybe I should just get like a new microphone too, because why not? And then I went up to him and I'm like my parents came into my room, and I was like, yo, I need to buy books and also can I have a new microphone? They're just like, okay. They didn't
sure,
even
why
ask me
not?
about it. I'm like, all right, fine.
All
I
right,
guess it's
cool,
good.
yeah.
So I got this one for like $60, and it sounds really really good.
What kind of microphone did you get?
It's a Ikedon. I don't know how you pronounce it. Sounds Japanese.
Ikaido.
Ikedon, like an I
Look it
K
up real
E
quick.
D O N
IKE?
microphone. Actually, it might sound bad on your end because it goes through Discord, but on my end when I'm recording, it sounds almost as good as an XLR microphone. It might sound just as good as like budget XLR microphones, but this microphone I'm using is a USB one. Hmm.
Oh
And
yeah, I've seen.
I don't
You
know
know,
how familiar you
USB
are with.
microphones are really good to use though. They're like so much simpler. You don't have to get like a fucking like machine to go through to use it.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I got this one. I don't know how. Uh, hold up.
Oh, he
Sorry,
just
just.
died.
Oh, sorry, just lunch came back up there for a second, in the form of a burp. But I don't know how enlightened you are about audio or microphone um, specs and technology. So like, I know you spent like a good deal of, or you mentioned at least that you spent a good deal of money on audio equipment for your podcast that you do, Celluloid Slaughter.
Okay, truth be told, we didn't actually, but my brother really wanted to like make that expressly a point.
Okay.
He
And
was
I
like,
hope I
"We've
hope no one
spent
who.
$12 million on this," and kept like berating me about it the
Yeah.
whole podcast. I'm like, "But we spent like maybe 200."
Yeah, because I was about to. Oh, well, I guess the secret comes out here, but I hope no one
Ah,
watches.
like
I hope no one watches Celluloid Slaughter and watches this podcast. It'll be a little bit weird. No, I was kidding.
I would be very curious of how the crossover went and why they're here.
Did you guys have like XLR microphones?
Uh, at first, we only had like the one that I'm using now. This was the only one.
Yeah.
We didn't have like a mic stand or anything. We like barely knew how to work anything. One of us held the mic and the other one held the recorder with just like
Oh
a
God,
normal
Jesus
microphone plugged
Christ.
onto it. Yeah, it was very
It's a really
depressing, our setup.
ghetto setup.
Originally, it was just the recorder alone with a left and right microphone, just
Uh
going
huh.
outwards at the two of us as we talked.
Mm-hmm.
Sounded horrible.
Mm. Yeah.
But yeah, we've slowly upgraded to this new setup where we have two microphones with one working mic stand and the other one constantly breaking.
Oh. And you both, and they're just USB microphones?
They are XLR.
Ah, so you got them hooked up to an audio interface.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was debating whether I should just get an XLR one, but the cheapest XLL or XLR microphone setup I could find off Amazon was I think somewhere around like 120, $110, which is
They're
about
they're
twice the price of this microphone. And not only this microphone was like $60, but like it came in a kit. It's a microphone kit for $60. So I got the boom arm, I got this really sick like double layered pop filter, and I have like what was it, like a shock mount for my microphone and everything. So yeah, it looks like a really good setup, and I like it. It's really cool.
nice.
Yeah. Also, when I was looking at, because whenever I shop to buy something that's more than like $40, I would say, I usually just Google whether to see whether Google reviews and stuff to see which is the best product I should get because I'm real stingy with my money. So, and I was while I was googling that, a lot of for some reason I think YouTube thought I was like trying to build a PC or something, because I guess microphones do. You would get like a new microphone if you have like a new PC or something, but they would always recommend me videos about the one PC that The Verge built. Are you aware of that? Are you aware of the PC that The Verge built?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, if you, I know that you already have, like, you already got, like, your new computer and everything, but if you ever do, in the future, decide to build your own PC, don't ever watch the
The
video,
Verge.
yeah, the tutorial on how to build your PC by The Verge.
Why? What did they do?
Well, right off the bat, because a lot of people have talked about this already, like, a lot of PC building people on YouTube already talked about it, but basically, The Verge was sponsored by Capital One to make a tutorial on how to build a PC a while back. It was a long time ago, but I don't quite remember. It was like 2 years ago maybe. But so they made the video and they got this one dude to basically show you how to build the PC on like a table and everything. But the thing is, they basically fuck up everything about the PC. Like there's very rarely a moment in that video um, where he did something right about building a PC. And basically, what happened was everybody got angry at The Verge because their tutorial on how to build a PC was shit. The original video was taken down, but of course, people being people and the internet being internet, there's still like re-uploads of it, just so you can watch it for yourself and see how bad it is. I don't know how familiar you are with how to build a PC exactly, or like PC parts.
I got like the base level intelligence of what you need to know.
So like the average person's knowing what a PC is
Yeah,
like.
like, probably slightly more, maybe slightly less than the guy who built the one on the Verge.
Yeah, so like you know about like RAM and CPU, GPU,
What?
like the parts to build a PC. You know about them?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think one of the things he does in the video is, well, he basically his a lot of people are getting on his shit about like his vocab when he's talking about the parts. But I mean, you can clearly tell the guy's he's never touched like PC parts, much less build them. So when he like puts out like a couple tools in the beginning of the video, he's like, oh, you're gonna need this thermal paste applicator and these tweezers and these things. But the thing was, no one uses a thermal plate paste applicator. I don't even know what the hell. Like people watch it, they're like, I don't even know what the hell it is. He puts out like this tiny plastic spoon looking thing, but instead of a spoon, it's like a spatula.
Right.
Yeah, and then the what he called tweezers were actually zip ties, and so he just gets like little things like that wrong with his like vocab. I'm not too big on that. Like I didn't really care about it. Like I knew what he was talking about, and he's also like, oh, you need this Allen key wrench and a Swift's Army knife that hopefully has a screwdriver in it. And I'm like, what the hell is he? At this point, I'm like, oh my god, what is he talking about? You know, because I'm like, why not just use a screwdriver? You know, just like a
Because
regular
JD,
screwdriver.
life can't be easy.
Yeah, and then I just gotta talk about like the major things he messes up. Basically, in a computer, you have a motherboard, and you put all your parts, usually all your parts for a PC, on that motherboard in the case. So like he puts the CPU in correctly, at least. He talked about using like a CPU applicator tool or something, which is just like a square with like another square punched out in it, and I have no idea what that is. Like just fucking pop that CPU in, man. Just line it up and pop it in with your hands. Like I don't there's not too much complicated stuff with that. But like when he puts the fan on the CPU, he kind of fucks it up. He fucks up the thermal paste on it. Basically what you're supposed to do is when you get the parts for the CPU and the fan comes in, there's already thermal paste like applied to the bottom of the fan, so that you don't have to put any more thermal paste on when you put it on the CPU, and usually it's good enough. But what he did is he bought like third-party thermal paste, which you can do if you want to, and he just fucking like destroys the CPU with that shit. He like fucking nuts on the CPU with that thermal paste,
God,
and he's like, and he's just fucking,
I can't tell if this is you just
huh?
like being insulted by him, and that's why you're saying all of this. Or
No, I just thought it was really funny. I was just making a bit there. But yeah, he just fucking destroys the CPU with thermal paste. He coats it basically. And then he puts the CPU fan that already has like thermal paste applied to it on top of that. And like that's a big problem, because if there's too much thermal paste, like even a little bit too much, it fucks up the heat dis- dispersal of like the thermal paste. So his CPU is gonna like overheat like crazy and destroy it pretty much. He spent like I think like $2,000 on his PC parts too.
yeah,
So that was already disgusting to see him mess up that. He also places his RAM into the motherboard wrong. Like I think he puts them like right next to each other, and if you do that, then one of the sticks basically just doesn't work, because it just because dual channel support means that it can support two sticks of RAM, and you're supposed to put them like one space apart from each other so that the motherboard can use all of the RAM. But he fucks that up, so there's that. He also has
idiot.
like horrible airflow in his case when he finishes it. Like it's just disgusting. Um,
Henry Cavill would never allow this. Who is this man?
yeah, I mean Henry Cavill probably not. Maybe she should have Henry Cavill do it. Like they redo it, but like they're like, yo, Henry Cavill, you want to come on to our like YouTube? You want to do a YouTube video on how to build a tutorial, or how to
No
build a computer
thanks.
tutorial? And he turns around, he looks at him, and he's like, "Do you bleed?"
What a weird. Okay, actually, you know what? Sorry, I know this is a weird transition upon a weird transition, but
No, it's not a weird transition. Go ahead.
in Justice League, you've seen it, right?
The Do You Bleed? Was
Yeah, like
Superman
when
saying to Batman?
Superman
Yeah,
says it,
I've
it
seen it.
makes
Yeah.
no sense.
I don't know.
Like,
I sort of
why
makes a
would
little bit
he
of sense
say
to
it?
me.
But
Cause
why
like,
would he say it?
cause
He
like
didn't even
he's
hear Batman when he didn't even hear the.
no. So what happened
It's
was
such a
like,
weird callback.
okay, let me tell you. So like in Batman v Superman, Batman meets Superman for like the first time or something, and they fight, or at least, or they don't fight. Okay, but Superman basically just Batman tries
Breaks
to
the
attack Superman.
Batmobile.
Batman attacks Superman, and Superman just
Oh
shrugs
no
it
no no
off. That's
no
what that
no
fight
no
was.
no! Batman is chasing people that have stolen kryptonite, and Superman's like, "Hey Batman, I see you're trying to stop crime. Fuck you," and just stands in front of the car as it makes a turn.
Oh yeah,
A
right.
turn that Batman has no way of avoiding Superman when making. Superman is
Oh,
literally
yeah. I remember that scene now. Never mind. Just keep going. What you were saying.
he's like making this turn and everything, and Superman's like, "The bat is dead. Let it die." And Batman's like, "Do you bleed?" And Superman flies off, and it's just, "You will." It's
Wasn't
like,
this? No. Wasn't this after after like something tells Superman that Batman is bad or something? I don't know. I think in the
yeah.
movie,
So
what I remember is like somebody tells. I think it may have been Lex Luthor that tells him that Batman is bad, and then Batman
it
thinks
was like a
Superman's bad.
newspaper, and then Perry White, the newspaper editor at in Metropolis, he's like, "Don't go chasing the bat and everything. That's not your
Right,
job."
right, right.
But in the movie, in the Ultimate Edition, which is so far better than the original movie, because Warner Brothers, they have this big thing where they come in and they just cut up a bunch of stuff that directors make,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Okay, that's good." And director's like, "But the story makes no sense now. There's so much missing from it." And it's just like, "Well, whatever. Fuck you. This is
Mm.
what it is now."
That's
Uh,
just how they work. Yeah.
and in the Ultimate Edition, it like better explains like Superman is trying to track down this guy that was affected by the whole Batman scenario, and then like some other stuff, and everyone in Gotham's like, "You better keep away, or you better stay out of here during night." That's when he comes out and is on the prowl and everything.
Yeah.
It's like this is him warning, and this is everyone talking about Batman, and this is what gets Clark Kent intrigued by the idea in general. Because originally he's just tracing down a Superman story, but then he goes after Batman after being told about him and all the stuff that he does illegally.
Right, right. Because because he's I guess he's a vigilante, right? So he's not quite with the law on everything.
Right, he's not like news-wise working with the law, but in reality he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, so that scene happens, and then like, I guess Superman just comes in to warn Batman that if he keeps doing his shit, then he's gonna come and stop him. And then Batman looks at him, and well, I guess Batman really just wants to like take him down. So he's like, "Do you bleed?" And he's like trying to
You
threaten
will.
Superman into like a fight or something. And yeah, Superman hears that, and in Justice League when he comes back, that's like the only thing he remembers when
But it
he
doesn't make
sees
sense
Batman.
for him to say it. It's like, why would he say it? I get hating like Batman because in the moment of like ideology, he's the reason he died. But also, it's like you literally had a turnaround. Why would you say, "Do you bleed?" It just doesn't make sense.
To well, have you seen that SpongeBob meme of the mockery SpongeBob meme when like words are like capitalized all weird and stuff? It's
Yeah.
basically like him mocking you. That's what that was. That was
What?
Superman being like, "Do you believe?"
No, that was Joss Whedon coming in when. Okay, so that scene was not part of Zack Snyder's Justice League, and
Clearly
Joss
not.
Whedon, when he came in, he was like, "Well, I have to change this scene that they filmed before Henry Cavill had a mustache.
Hmm.
They've shot all the shots, but hey, I want to redo it now, and I want to put on a CG face, and it has to be consistent throughout the entire movie, or else it'll look weird, even though it already looks weird."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Well, now I need to have him say something new. Let's
Mm.
have him ask him if he bleeds as a callback because I'm a great director."
Um. All right.
Sorry.
That's fine. It's a good little because I'm pretty sure in every podcast you've had like a weird tangent
Like,
about like
yeah,
superhero movies. That was this
James is
tangent for this
tangent
segment.
hour.
Big tangent power.
I I've I'm like trying to every time that like somebody like we somehow get into a conversation
Hmm.
with like on this or celluloid slaughter about this type of stuff, I just always want to like just go all in on it
Well,
because
you
it,
you
it, it
do you
really is
definitely
a
do go all
fucked up
in.
situation.
Yeah. I get it, James. I get it. They're super. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, I probably picked up on my microphone as well. That was my father there. He likes to shout at me sometimes. Anyway, back to, I don't quite remember what topic we were talking about before, but on to a new topic. I don't think we talked about this. We talked about this right before the podcast started about you having a new Steam account now.
Yeah, I have a new Steam account so we can play video games and stuff.
Yes, so that may be a thing in the future. Look forward to
Yeah.
that. I might actually play Payday 2. It might be a video on this channel.
I'm
I know that Payday 2 was like, it was kind of a big thing on my previous channel, I think.
the
Um,
hidden channel.
yeah, the one shrouded in the one hidden in the leaves. It
The
was
channel that shall not be named.
exactly that one. I think I did like a Payday 2 video where I hosted one of my friends, I played with one of my friends who plays League now, but before I just did like a 40-minute uncut, unedited raw footage of like a heist or something. And yeah, that was the Payday 2 content then. And yeah, I love that game, dude. Love playing Payday 2. That's like, wait, how long have you been playing, or how long have you played Payday 2, James? Would you say?
Before re-downloading it this year, I played it for like a good like 2 years.
Yeah. How many hours do you think you racked up on it?
God, I I might have lied to one of my friends when I said I didn't have like over 100 hours in a game because I think if I did, it would definitely be Payday, but I just can't remember.
Okay, well, but on my Steam account, it tells you how long you've been playing it, and I played Payday 2 since it was released back in 20. I don't quite remember when it was released. It was like 2014, I think.
You must be your least favorite person then,
It was
as
like
I haven't
seven.
played it for forever and know nothing
I'm
again.
pretty sure it was like 7 years ago. So I started playing it in 2014. I played a little bit after it was released because um, I didn't have a good computer back then, so I couldn't play it on the PC. But I did play it on my PS3, and the reason I started playing it is because I don't know why games don't do this, but they have like a free version of the game as like a demo, so you can play like the demo, and in the demo it's basically the game, but you only can play one heist, and only get to level 10, but it's multiplayer. Like the demo is multiplayer, and like that's one of the good things about Payday 2 is the co-op, right? So like I was like crazy. This demo's insane. It's so good. So after playing the demo for like a really long time, I bought the game, and I know that isn't saying much of me buying the game, but I don't usually buy games. Crazy. Because I just don't like to spend money on games and stuff because I just play free games. But that's like one of the few games I've spent money on, and I just kept playing it. It was it's what sustained me during like a large period of my middle school life.
Yeah.
Wait, nothing. I was just distracted by a little bit of background noise. But okay, never mind. Anyway, so, because I don't know if I told you this, James, but during middle school, um, you ever have like your parents ever tell you like you better do this chore or something, or else we'll like turn off the internet or like take away your games, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Every kid who's played like a abundance of games has had that. And for me, it was when I was in middle school, where they were like, you better stop playing video games, or else we'll turn off the internet and stuff. So I was like, I didn't get him at the time because I didn't get it because I was just like, I mean, I do my work, I get straight A's, so I can play games. Like I don't see what's the bad thing about it is. So, they just actually did it. They just actually turned off the internet. So, quite literally what happened was that my grades dropped because at that time it was starting to turn more into like a online work kind of thing. Like you'd write your essays online or type up your essays online, and you do like homework that'd be online on like a campus or whatever. And so my grades dropped, and they're like, "See, the video games are destroying your grades." I'm like, I don't know if that's the case, Chief. And Payday 2, another great thing about Payday 2 is you could play it offline. So the funny thing was, them turning off the internet to stop me from playing games made it so I can only pretty much play games because I couldn't do anything else because the internet was off.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, so to this day, I've racked up about almost 500 hours in Payday
Holy
2.
shit.
But that's over the case. That's over the course of 7 years, pretty much, of playing the game. So I wouldn't say it's like too like impressive or anything. I know people who have like thousands of hours in games in like Counter Strike. In fact, my friend is one of them. He has like 4,000 hours in Counter Strike CS:GO, and I'm like, I don't know how you can play that game for so long. It's crazy. People who play Counter Strike are super enthusiastic about it. They spend so much of their time playing it. Is there
Right.
like is there like a game that you've managed to get you to play like a lot other than Payday 2?
I'd have to say Rainbow Six
Yeah, it's
Siege.
similar, I guess. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite games, and I just always love going back and just playing it. I especially love playing it because I found this crew of guys just to play with who all apparently are from here, by the way.
From Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just insane because I was just like randomly playing and like, hey man, you want to join a party? I'm like, cool, yeah. And we got to talking, and then they were just talking. And they were like just talking about uh like yeah, we did some work down on Fremont. I'm like, Fremont? Huh,
Fremont.
interesting. And I just kind of kept quiet and kept listening.
Yeah.
And it's like I slowly learned that yeah, these guys live in Vegas and they even kind of live around my area. And I'm like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
holy shit, this is cool.
It's always a
This
great.
is like the one in a lifetime thing that happens.
It's a super weird. It's always a really funny coincidence whenever you're talking to like what you think is just a stranger, but it turns out that they're like a local,
Right.
pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I've had that experience like a couple times. Most of my friends that I talk to on Discord and stuff, or my game group on League of Legends, they actually live in different states. But there was one time where there was just this random guy on the Discord, because the Discord server I'm in has like hundreds of people in it, right? But just most of the people are inactive. There's only like maybe 10 people who are still like who go into voice chat and talk to each other, right? And then just randomly one day, one of these guys comes into the group chat, which I've never seen before, and I'm like, oh great, I'm like, oh, who's this guy? He's in the Discord for some reason, and he just like calls out my name. He's like, yo, JD, are you like going to the same college I am? And I'm like, I don't know, am I? And he's like, yeah, I think you are. Don't you like? And he listed off like the teachers and the classes that we're in. And I'm like,
It was
oh
the
shoot, I'm
exact
in
same
this. Yeah, he's in
schedule
the
that
same
you
class
have.
as me. He's in the same class as me. I'm like, what the heck? That's crazy. Yeah, that's
Who are
pretty
you? How do you
interesting.
number?
Yeah, I think he might have recognized my voice in in class or something. It must have been something weird like that. I still don't know who he is because funny enough, we didn't.
Oh my
We just
god.
we just we just did like a whole like, oh, I know you, and then that's it.
Cool.
We just no
Okay,
no
bye.
further interaction. Yep, that
Yeah,
was
well,
it.
if that isn't serial killer, I don't know what
I
is.
mean, cause like we're not friends or anything. We were complete
Oh, I
strangers,
get you. I get you.
right? And I'm playing game right now. I'm a little bit busy with my game, and we'll talk about this
I'm
later.
playing. I'm playing game right now.
Me play game right now. Too
That
busy.
sounds like such fucking cheem speech. Just and play games or some
Ooga
shit.
booga caveman. I play games. Yeah, no, that was it actually. Yeah, that was my experience with it. I was actually planning to make a like a Payday 3 update video. Hold on a second. There's some background noise. Can you hear that?
Uh, I don't think I can.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my microphone's picking you up. Give me a second. It might be copyright music. Just
Take your
entertain the
time.
guests while I'm gone.
Okay, everyone, welcome to James's Tangent Corner. Today we're going to talk about Joss Whedon and how he's an asshole. No, in actuality, I'm going to talk about some fun stuff.
All
So
right,
as you all know,
all right,
oh,
I'm back.
never mind.
Huh? What? What were
No,
you talking
nothing.
about?
Nothing.
Oh, well, you should tell me right now before I go back and check up on this in the recording. Unless.
It was literally nothing. I haven't even begun talking.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
was
I'll
like
hold you
just
to that.
about to start, and then you came back, and I'm like, well, never mind.
So what I was talking about was I was planning to make like a Payday 3 thoughts kind of video, like what I would like to see in Payday 3, because Payday 3, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's going to be released 2023, I believe.
Really?
Yes,
I didn't even think that they were gonna do another one. I just thought they were gonna keep adding updates and stuff.
I didn't either because I don't know if you knew this too, but like a while back, the studio that made Payday 2 went broke. Like they they bankrupted pretty much. That was a while back, and we thought, and that's why Payday 2 stopped getting updates for a while. Um, but recently I think they've got like their shit together, and now they're just making more updates. And Payday 3 has a release date in 2023, and I thought I was gonna make like a thoughts video on what I think Payday 3 should be like. And since I got this new microphone, I can record sort of like a high quality commentary and opinion video on what I would like to see in the game. Because don't get me wrong, I love Payday 2, but there's just so many bad things in the game. Like there's so many bad elements in the game. At least recently. Wait, how long ago have when did you stop playing Payday 2?
Um, it had to be like at some point during. I think it was a sophomore year.
In high school?
Yeah. 'Cause I remember I was just playing it for like just playing it constantly, the demo,
A demo?
because it was free to play and I didn't have any money to spend on that type of stuff, so I just kept
Right.
playing the demo over and over again for a
Right.
long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just kind of stopped because I was like, okay, well, I actually have to focus on doing actual stuff.
Yeah, I guess there is like that kind of just realization in life. Eventually, you're just like, I just, I'm like, you're like, man, I really want to play this game today, but like, I have no free time. And it's just one day you're
Schoolwork.
like, wait a minute, where did my free time go? Yeah, that
And
realization is hits you somewhere around like middle school, I think. Like maybe later in middle school, you'd get that like, man, I just don't have enough time to do stuff now or play games. I don't. Well, I mean, you've got a job, right, James?
yeah,
So like you've got your schedule kind of like maxed out when it comes to like adult life in the game in the balancing between work and games, right? So
the only day I ever have to actually do anything I want, and I mean like a day,
yeah,
not like I get like an hour to record a podcast or something.
right.
It's like Mondays are the only day I have now and everything. It's just on that day, I'm not even relaxing. It's just get everything edited for the week.
God, that's disgusting. How it's Monday. It might be
It,
disgusting
it's
on
it's
Monday because I'm still in
so
class, but yeah.
no, it's so relaxing though because it's like I don't have to go into work on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I get to go in on Tuesday, which I always find is a much better day.
Just go into work.
I don't give a shit when anyone says Tuesday is the best day of the week.
Okay.
It's just such. It's not a Monday. It's not the middle of the week, and it's not like the weekend where you still have stuff going on. Tuesday is just like the most average, normal day, and it's so relaxing.
Mm.
Plus, I might be biased to it because a lot of podcasts I like to listen to while at work come out that day.
Come out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, no, not this podcast. This podcast comes out every Sunday. So if you're listening to it right now, every Sunday, podcast
Every
comes out
Sunday,
on this
listen
channel.
listen to a genius and an idiot.
Exactly. Which one of us are it?
I think that I think by my stammering they're able to figure that out.
Yeah, no. Hit that like button.
Comment down below if you could figure out who the idiot and genius are.
Sub that subscribe button so you can stay tuned for every Sunday when it comes out. But yeah, that's that's part of the adult life, I guess. I had that life for a little bit in high school, but I quit my job to go full time as a student. So yep. I was I'll tell you with the little work experience I've had, but I worked at a theater as my first job. it was not the best job, but it also wasn't the worst job. I don't know how much like a real job experience that job was, because it was sort of like a you just hang around the theater, clean stuff up, and you do stuff that you think theater dudes do, and then yeah, that's about it. The thing is, I worked there for like over a year. I worked there for like over a year and a half, like maybe a year and 8 months, I think. So I got the job when I was 16 in like junior year, and then I quit the job senior year. Around I quit the job senior year around like maybe oh, it was like 2 weeks right before I went to college. Was when I quit the job. It was a really interesting work experience. Would you would you say, James, that your work is kind of like? Do you like your work, your job?
I can't say I like it or dislike it. It's more just the people around me that I dislike being around.
Oh, so it's not like the job itself that you dislike, but like,
I mean the the environment and just the place I work, it's very kind of depressing and everything, but it, I mean it
was it
really
always
sucks when you're
depressing, or is
staying.
it just depressing because of what's going on right now?
It's always been depressing. You know,
Uh,
it's a concrete ground that like all the cold, like warmth gets sucked into,
uh,
and then it's just like a machine. Like it's just like working in a fucking auto factory where it's just you work in one spot, or it's like working in any type of factory. You just work in one spot doing the same thing over and over and over again for like 8 to 10 hours a day sometimes.
yeah, no, my theater job wasn't like that at all. It was very dynamic, and I don't know if I like that, like how dynamic it was, but yeah, I mean the managers got really attached to me actually over that year and 8 months, because a theater job is minimum wage. Um, so like, what I'm trying to say is not many people stay in the theater job for long periods of time, and by long periods of time I mean longer than like a month. Like literally, like every month there'd be people who would get hired, and then people who leave. Um, yeah, it was a really like come and go job, and like I was kind of one of the few that stayed for as long as I did, purely because I I was well I mean like I was poor and I couldn't afford my own car, and the theater that I was working at was within walking distance. It took about 30 minutes to walk there, and I had a bike, so it took about 15 minutes to bike there. So that's why I kept that job for so long. And when I was leaving, the managers thought I was joking. They were like, they were actually laughing at me. They were like, I was like, yo, I'm thinking of handing in my 2 weeks today, and or like in like a few days, and then
Sure thing, JD.
yeah, because I'm kind of known as
Yeah,
like a
right.
jokester. I was kind of known as a jokester. I like to crack jokes a lot at work, but so one of my managers, Robert, he was like this large white dude, um, kind of fat too, but he was like,
Huh.
I was talking to him about it. He's one of the funniest managers there. Really like him. But he was like, he was just like, he was like, you're joking, right? And I'm like, no, I'm gonna hand in my 2 weeks. Like that's, how do I do that? Like, do I get a form or something? He's like, yeah, you get a form at the office, but like, you're actually doing this? And he like just kept on going with that. Like, I'm running out of time on I really gotta go soon. Like, can I get this sheet? And he's like, he's like, no way, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it. So he hands me the sheet. He's like, you're
You
not
are
gonna
not
fill that,
leaving
are you?
us.
You're not leaving this place. You're gonna stay here forever.
Leave here alive.
Ever.
You
If
gotta fight your way to get out.
he just like turns around, he shouts at you like, "Close down the theater! We got an intruder! We got an
One's
escapee!"
trying to escape. You just hear Mortal Kombat music. Mortal Kombat! Doo-doo-doo. As you just gotta fight every worker there.
Yeah, dude.
It's like
No,
a fucking Family Guy scene where you're just killing everybody.
I don't know if it's just me. I swear I'm not a psychopath or anything, or like a sociopath or anything. But like, I didn't think I made such like deep relationships with people there. It's just like a work thing, right? Like I come into work, I do my shit, crack a couple jokes because it's depressing if I don't, and then move on. But apparently the managers all like, um, I walked into like the office the day of me leaving, or like the last day I worked there. I did my shift and everything, and everyone's talking to me and stuff. And I walk into the office, I hand in my papers, and they're like, "You gotta type like a goodbye note or something." I'm like, "All right," and
You do?
yeah, or
That feels weird.
it was like a reason of why you were leaving the company.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah,
That's
that's what
not
I meant
as
by
weird.
goodbye note. But you have to type up like a note like that and send it to the general manager, the GM as they call him,
Hmm.
and yeah, it was like the most informal letter ever. Not only because it was informal in terms of the content, but also because it was typed really informally. I think what happened was during that time, like I was just sitting in a chair in the office, like in the middle of the room, and the computer was like across the room from me. And I was like, yo, so I gotta type this thing up, right? And he's like, yeah, just tell me what you want, and I'll type it up for you. Or he's like, yeah, here, have this. And so he gives me this wireless keyboard, and I'm like across the room from the computer, and I'm like, it'd be really funny if I just type up the note like while I'm here. So I just start typing the note up while I'm across. I can't see what I'm typing, so I'm just typing up this
Oh my
like.
God.
So
Madman.
I'm typing up my goodbye note without looking at it at all. And my manager was like, "Whoa, how are you doing that?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, how are you typing so accurately? You haven't misspelled anything yet." And I'm like, "It's because I'm a genius. It's because I'm smart. It's because
Because my talents are
I'm a
wasted,
computer
you
science
asshole.
major. I gotta know how to type." So yeah, we were just like joking around with each other while I'm typing my note, and he's like, as he's reading my note, as he's reading my note in his head, my manager was like, are you serious about this note?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's wrong with it?" And he's like, "It sounds really sarcastic." And I'm like, "What?" And he reads it out to me, like in the most sarcastic tone ever. He's like, "I had a great time working here in this luxurious company. I had so much. The managers are so nice. They're so great. I loved being here with everyone. The sanitary conditions of the workplace were amazing." And I'm like, "What do you? Why are you saying it like that? It doesn't sound like that at all." And he's like, "All right, read it out to me."
JD, it absolutely sounds like that
It
though.
wasn't. I didn't say it word for word. It was similar to that, but it wasn't like I didn't use words like luxurious. Who the hell uses those words in a movie theater? Movie theaters are gross as fuck, dude. Even before the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. So like, so so I read it out, and I read it out like any normal person would read it. I'll be like, "Yeah, I had a great time working here. It was a really nice experience. I think it definitely changed how I look at future jobs and workplaces." And then my manager looks at me and he's like, "That was beautiful," and I'm like, "Yeah, thank you," because I didn't read it out like a douchebag.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Now, by
yeah.
the way, fuck you.
Thank you. By the way, I never liked you.
By the way, I fucked your wife.
Oh, by the way, you know your sister that came in like 2 weeks ago. I fucked her. I had intercourse. No, no, but yeah. After that, like we had, it was such a weird thing because he's like the goodbye was so long. He just like stuck around me for so long, and as I was walking out of the theater for like the last time, he like looked at me, or he was like standing next to me. He looked at me, he put his hand on my shoulder, and he's like, "You're not leaving." And I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
And that's when you got bagged and
Yeah,
kidnapped.
no. And then I just talked to him for a while, and like I think another one of my coworkers came up to me, and we were just talking to each other for a while, and then I left. And that was it. So we said our goodbyes.
You're not leaving
I
here
might come back.
alive.
I said I might come back to work in like winter break or summer break or something like that, and I didn't. So yep, short probably there's the Backstreet Boys reunion tour is part of the reason, but also because I don't like working there. So yep. I mean, like when you're working a minimum wage job for like, because the shifts were like 8 hours at least, and you get like one break, one 30-minute break is what you get. So like, it wasn't too exhausting for me because I'm dripped, jacked, and like the peak human physical form, but I mean it's still kind of tiring, and for minimum wage you make like what like 40, 50 bucks, $60, working one of those shifts. So I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. Not only that, it's kind of dangerous working there now. I mean, as I left, I said, my sister is about to turn 16. I think she can take my place here. So and the general manager's like, all right, that's all right, we can make that work. So yeah, I think it actually is my influence that made it so she landed the job. My sister. because let me tell you, she failed her interview the first time. She failed her interview, but they gave her a second chance because because of me, basically.
You know the shoe.
Yeah, yeah. They were like, so you're JD's sister, and I'm like, and she's like, yeah. So they do the interview. They're like, you don't pass the interview, and she's like, oh, but they're like, we're gonna give you another shot though because we know JD, and if you're anything like JD, then then we can make this work. So then the
And
second
then in
time she
that
does it,
moment, she goes, "Oh no, no, I'm nothing like him."
well, I mean, the truth of the matter is, we could not be any more different, pretty much. Me and my family could not be any more different. I literally, I'm questioning whether or not I've been adopted or not sometimes, just because our levels of intellect are just on different levels. But it's just me indirectly calling my family dumb. But yeah, my sister's not the smartest cookie in the jar.
An idiot and a genius.
She's not the smartest cookie in the jar. I'm pretty sure she's in like supplementary math lessons in high school. But other than that, they did give her another shot. She landed the job, so now she's working there. That's great. But I will never work there again.
Have you gone back to there since?
I've not gone back to the seen a movie. I've not gone back into that. I've never walked into that casino again since. Because I lived in dorms for the first year in UNLV, and now I'm quarantined. So, yep. I don't like going out much. I usually just
Understandable.
stay home, do my fucking homework and quizzes and tests or whatever they assign me online, and
Blast
read
on
whatever
Payday
they
2,
assign me.
Razor Mind.
Yeah, blasting Razor Mind, black yellow Mobius.
Dude, I after re-downloading it, I'm like, I'm just gonna be up at 3 a.m. blasting Razor Mind while just fucking running around like an idiot, just like so sleep deprived, just doing all this, just
I just have to say that the soundtrack in Payday 2 is like the best soundtrack I've ever heard in any video game other outside of Doom. And Doom Eternal. Like the
dude.
soundtrack is
Oh
just
my god.
so good, dude. It's so
I
good.
Doom Eternal is the only Doom game I've played, but I love the Doom games. Like it's the only
Yeah.
one I've played personally,
Yeah.
and I watched no videos of it beforehand. I wanted to go into it completely
Mm.
like amazed. I didn't want to watch any playthroughs. I got it the day of. I got the ultimate edition of it and
Yeah.
everything. And
Mm-hmm.
I turned on the title screen, and when that fucking music came on, I just felt like my soul just leave my body because of how great it was.
Yeah. No,
Fucking main menu music.
the main menu music is already amazing. Um, yeah. No, that's. I played both 2016 Doom and Doom Eternal, and I have to say that I like both those games. I think they're amazing.
Which one do you think you like more?
I like Doom Eternal more, just because it feels more arcadey to me, and I like I like the arcadey shooter type thing more. But Doom 2016, don't get me wrong, it was like kind of arcadey, but it definitely had more of like a horror kind of aspect to it, too.
Right.
And Doom Eternal kind of just like they kind of just brushed off the horror and just made it like two times as crazy. Because I don't know if you quite remember what Doom 20. You haven't played Doom 2016, right?
No, I have not.
Basically, in Doom 2016, you don't get the jump. You don't get the double jump until like halfway into the game, pretty much. And like the enemy types, there's not as many in Doom Eternal, and also like you don't get dashes or anything in Doom 2016. So you don't even get sprints. You just it's basically just one movement speed that you have for like the majority of the game, and then you get a double jump, and that's it pretty much. So Doom Eternal is more fun to play in my mind. Although the funny thing is, I didn't finish Doom Eternal, but I did finish Doom 2016. I don't know what happened, but maybe I'll get back into it. But yeah,
I Oh man, I wanted to say something, but I'm like, this would spoil it, and I don't want to be. I don't want
I
to
know what
spoil.
happens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
but
just
I
I
guess a
love that
spoiler
it
warning
connects.
is coming up
Oh, whoops.
for Doom Eternal. If you don't want to hear that, then uh, mute, I guess, or unless
Yeah,
you
like
can somehow say it without spoiling it.
I was just gonna say, skip like 20 seconds ahead right now.
Yeah. Okay.
I just love how the games connect. It's like they're all connected and everything. It's just
Yeah.
awesome. It's not a completely separate timeline and everything.
Yeah, no, it's basically a sequel. Doom Eternal.
Yeah. Okay, and everyone, if you've skipped up to this point, you're good now. Yay.
Yay, yeah, you're good. Spoilers are over
Whee!
with. Wee. I wouldn't even say that's too big of a spoiler, but
Gears of War 3, Dom fucking die.
oh my god.
Spoilers are over as I say that.
No, spoiler owl.
No! I never played Gears of War 3 yet.
In
Urgh.
Jaws, the shark eats people. My
No!
god. How could they do this? Yeah, no.
Everyone dies in Infinity War. Yeah.
That's part of the reason why I played Payday 2 for so long. It's just because I love the soundtrack.
The soundtrack is like one of the best parts, and it's like so surprising.
I remember when they added in Don't Act Dumb into the soundtrack, and I was like, my god, this is my favorite song of all time.
I think the one that they added with Jimmy from Hardcore Henry.
Bad Elbows Biting
I am
Motherfucker.
a bad motherfucker,
Yeah.
rock and roll. Dude, that song is like what got me so pumped to like play it.
The reason why I watched the Bad Henry movies because of Payday 2. They added in the DLC. I'm like, what is this? And then I went
Dude,
over to my friend's
Hardcore
house.
Henry
He
is
had,
such a fucking amazing movie.
yeah. I mean, it's a very to me it's a very niche movie because if you get nauseous looking at or watching movies in first person, you should
Right,
not watch
right.
that movie. It's super nauseating. I can understand why people get nauseous, but I could watch the movie just fine, and it was really good, really fun.
I just love how like bloody and it is and everything, and it stems from like a video that they had done like years upon years prior to when they even started filming Hardcore Henry.
Yeah,
And when they were filming Hardcore Henry, that was like years before the movie even actually came out too.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they created this whole first-person headset that people could wear, and it was just, I love it. I love that the director of the movie put his face as being Henry's faces as well.
yeah, yeah. It was a good, it was a nice touch. I liked how they filmed that movie. It was a very interesting kind of movie. I mean, movies that have like different ways of filming him other than just like third person standard movie type thing are just kind of interesting to me. Hardcore Henry was one of them. Have you heard of the I think it was called the Chronicles or something? Chronicles? It was filmed in like a
Found
webcam
footage
pretty
type
much.
way.
Like a
Yeah,
separate like a separate webcam camera that like is about like a group of like teens that find like this weird space rock underground or something, and they all get like
great
psychic
movie.
powers. They all get like telekinesis powers, and then
Fucking oh sorry.
oh yeah, no, I was just and one of them gets like one of them is like stronger than the other ones, and like I'm talking like a lot stronger, and then he like turns evil or something, so the other guys have to stop him. And the end fight scene that it was filmed like from a camera from a police helicopter. It was filmed from that angle. It was pretty interesting. hmm Did you have something to say?
Uh, yeah, that movie was like what really got me into a lot of the films that I watch now and everything
Really?
because of the actors who were in it and the way it was filmed. I have this like love for found footage movies. It's so overdone, but I love when horror movies do it and when they do it very well.
Yeah.
And the actor Dane DeHaan, he played the kid, I think Alex was his name,
Yeah.
who becomes the apex predator as he calls it, and it was
Yeah.
just I love the like insanity that the character went to upon getting power because he was always somebody that was just a loser that always got beat up and had
Yeah.
nothing going for him.
That's like the villain backstory.
And it's like he was also trying to do it for a noble cause to like help his mother, but he was doing it in such a wrong way.
Yeah, methodology.
I just love the scene where he just has the camera floating behind him and he just kills all the fucking like the the fucking teens that were like shitting on him. They're like, "Oh, you got a gun? I got a gun too." And then he just fucking just kills him with his telekinesis.
Nice gun. But tell me, do you bleed?
You will.
You will.
Bwah, 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 bwah.
Ba ba da ba ba
That
ba
movie had a
ba.
great soundtrack too, actually. Honestly, Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't pay too much attention to the soundtrack actually. I don't remember anything about the soundtrack. I mean, that's what I consider like really good soundtrack is ones that I just remember like right off the top of my head. Payday 2 is definitely one of them. Doom
Pay
is
to
one
the
of them.
movie one day. We got the web series.
I mean, the Avengers soundtrack is kind of it was used in a meme a lot, and that's kind of why I remember it. But it's kind of memorable too.
That's like just the one song though.
Da 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 da. That song, dude, Jesus.
Yes, that's the perfect rendition of it.
Yeah, no, is I'm
When
basically
you're
I'm pitch
editing this,
perfect.
just play the Avengers Infinity War
I can't because
trailer.
it's copyrighted.
No, I mean not like the audio, just the visual of
Oh, the
it.
visual. I don't know if I
Yeah,
can
and
play that
just play
either. I'll
your
just put like a
audio
picture
over
or
it.
something. Yeah. No, I mean like the
Dun,
I mean like the
dun,
sound when
dun, dun, dun.
like Thor arrives in Infinity War. You know that
That
soundtrack.
okay, that was one of my favorite moments. Like that's a moment I found really good is when he just fucking appears, annihilates everyone, just bring me Thanos, and then you get the awesome visual of him flying up in the air, everything
Yeah.
turning blue around him and everything. I thought that was great.
Yeah, that was a good scene. Not gonna
One of the
lie.
best movie.
Yeah, no, I mean soundtracks like those, always great stuff. I wish they'd put that in more kind of games. You know what game I've played that just like the soundtrack just never rubs off on me? It's Call of Duty. None of the Call of Duty games have like a soundtrack that really like stands out to me. Um,
Yeah, they've all got very like standard typical music, like the bam bam bam
yeah, they
bam.
always have really generic music. I like to call it. Not that generic music's like bad or anything. It's just like I don't know. It just sounds like normal, like what you'd expect. I guess there's nothing like impressive.
The music that they use definitely belonged to like a specific time for it.
Yeah,
They just haven't updated it since.
yeah. And I guess I'm gonna be. I don't think I'll get a lot of hate for this because no one watches this, but Halo music. I I don't remember. I don't remember it.
Okay, well
Because
now
I've never played the first Halo game
like,
or any of the Halo games like in depth. I've only played Halo 5 really with my friend who had it,
oh, poor
and that's about it.
bastard.
Yeah, that's
That's
the
the
only Halo
worst.
game I've played more
Worst
than like
Halo
2 hours. Yeah, so when
That
everyone's like, "Oh," that's like the only thing I remember from Halo. Is that just that?
that
Because it's
is
memed so much.
that's the worst Halo game.
Halo 5?
Yes,
Is it?
it has the worst story, the worst playing.
Hmm.
The whole game is just oh, and the sound effects for the guns sound so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the only experience from Halo that I've gotten. So forgive me if my view of Halo is not too great. Actually, I did play a little bit of like Halo Reach, but like when when you're in 2020, or I played it really recently, I guess. So it's when you're in like I played it a few months ago. When you're in like 2020 and you play games that are just really old, um, you just think they're trash because they just don't play as good as like games nowadays. So when I played Halo Reach, I was like, the controls are kind of clunky and like the movement's a little bit clunky. Like the time to kill in Halo games, I'm pretty sure you can still back me up on this. The time to kill in Halo games are really long, just because everyone's got like shields and health, and the guns don't do
Yeah,
like insane amounts of damage.
I
So
don't know.
like,
The in Reach the guns, they kind of stayed pretty true to Halo 1 where they were like very meaty and everything.
yeah. So I played Halo Reach with my friends. We just did like custom lobbies and stuff and played on there. And I'm gonna say I'm not a big fan of it. I don't know. It just might be the movement that's got me all weird because I didn't play Halo games before, and Halo's got like a really weird system of like floaty ish, really slow kind of movement, and it just doesn't work for me. For me, really fast movement is what I like games like Doom Eternal, fast paced games like those. I like the like even Call of Duty, just running around there is like a good speed for me. That's probably like the slowest I would enjoy a gameplay to be. Yeah. What about you, James? You like you were you like one of those Halo players? You played Halo a lot?
Yeah, it was like one of the first games I ever even played too.
Really?
Yeah, I remember. I think I played a little bit of Halo 1, but when Halo 2 came out, my brothers had gotten the Xbox and everything, and they just played the shit out of it. And I never really got to play it, but whenever I
Oh,
did,
oh,
it
yeah.
was some of the most fun I ever had with video games.
So
I
you
wish
were
I
the
could go
you were
back
the
to that.
player too, huh?
I was player 3,
Even worse.
but we never had a third controller.
Yeah, I mean, that would, that sucks.
Halo 2 is just something else though. It was so like different than most other games, just with like the game modes, the
Oh yeah.
mission, the story. It just at the time it was something incredible.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? Man, I sound like a total douche being like,
No,
I
you're
guess so.
good.
All right.
You're good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know Halo's like good. It was good. It was a good game. It was like one of the era-defining games of its time. I just
So
didn't play it because I didn't have a console to play it or computer or anything to play it on, much less
that's
buy the game.
understandable though. I get
Yeah,
that.
it's understandable. I think I guess we'll wrap up the podcast with. I just like to talk about like our origins with games, right? Like the very first console we have and stuff like that. So I guess we'll end it like that. Um, so I don't quite remember it, but I think my grandpa had like I don't quite remember what console it was. It was like an NES or something. He had a ton of games on there. Like he had the original Super Mario Brothers that I played on that console. I don't remember what console it was. I think it was an NES. I played that, and I played Contra, too. I think, or it was Contra with two players, and I played it with my sister, and I think we beat the game, which is weird because Contra, as far as I know, is a pretty hard game to beat. We played. That was like my very first gaming experience was with that console on my grandpa's console. And then like fast forward like a few years, and like I think on my like sixth birthday, I would say somewhere around there, I got like a Wii. I got a Wii, and let me tell you, man, getting a Wii when you're a kid is like insane. It's like wow, that's so great. I love getting um, I got like a whole console to play games with. You know, it's like this makes things on the screen move. Like I'm controlling that. It's not just a movie. So I got that console, and the very first game I played on that console is I rented Super Mario Galaxy, like the first one. And let me tell you, like starting, okay, so okay, let me get this out of the way first, context wise. Have you seen like non gamers try to play games, James?
Yes.
Like
I yes.
there's just a certain way they play them that makes it both really entertaining to watch and really frustrating to watch because they just don't get like the gate logic of games, right? Um, like I saw this video. It was like, well, how does a non-gamer play games or something like that, something along the lines of that. And one of the games that they played was like Portal. They played Portal 2, I think. And what happened was when that person was playing the game, they didn't use the mouse to look around. So all they did was just walk around with like the same. They look in the same direction the entire time walking around, and it was like 10 minutes in before they realized that they could look around using the mouse. And I never thought about it because it just came so natural to me that yes, using the mouse to look around, that's what it does, and using WASD to move, that's what it does. But like newer games or like games back in the day had like tutorials like that for you for when you were a kid. They were like, you know, you use these buttons and to jump and to move, and that's kind of why that's kind of how I built up my like experience as like a gamer pretty much, right? Because Super Mario Galaxy, let me tell you, if you have like a kid or something, let them play that because that's a really good game to start with, Super Mario Galaxy, because it's both really fun and challenging enough at the same time to for like platformers, any kind of platformers, it'll get your skill level up on. So I played that for a while, and I didn't beat it because I had to return it before I could finish it. But I bought Super Mario Galaxy 2, played that one, and it was really good too. And I liked that game. I finished it, and after that, after the Wii, fast forward, like a year or two after I got my Wii or something like that. I got my first laptop, and um, it was right around the time I think when um, it was right around the time when Minecraft first launched. Were you? Do you remember the hype for Minecraft when it first launched, James?
I kind of do.
Let me tell you. It's probably because I was just a huge game nerd when I was younger, very very young. I was basically just played games all the time. But when I got my laptop on my birthday, and then like Minecraft was Minecraft like launched, and like in the first week of its launch, a lot of my friends bought it already, and they were like, "Yo, this game is it's great, dude. You need to
Yo,
play this. You
JD,
need to
this shit
fucking play. Yo,
slaps.
this shit is like fucking good meth, dude. You need to try out this shit right now. Inject it into your veins." So I was like, "Yo, I need this game. I need to play Minecraft." So I persuaded my aunt to buy me a Minecraft account, which was I think $20 back when it first came out.
It's such a fluctuating price.
Yeah, I think it might have been lower than $20. It was like $17, I think, to buy a Minecraft account. And at that time, it was kind of it was a risky investment because it was a game that just came out. It was not a triple A title game, and it was like the first very big indie game that came out. So I bought it, I played it, and it got me addicted for like quite a few years. That's pretty much that's like all I played for like the very that's all I played for fifth grade and for the early years of middle school. Minecraft. It's just every day for hours. Um, yeah, I fuck you Minecraft for doing that to me, but I love your game.
What a great game, though.
It is it
It's
is
such a
still
wholesome.
to this day one of the greatest games in my mind that's ever been made. It's just so the concepts in it are just so great. It's creative and it just works. Um, and that's another game where the soundtrack stuck to me. Even though like Minecraft has like one of the most quiet and simple soundtracks, but it's just so good. And like I remember it. It's
Dun, dun.
dun 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 dun. And like
Dun, dun,
I don't
dun,
know,
dun,
you
dun.
just get this weird feeling while playing Minecraft when you're a kid. I know it sounds kind of cringy now because the fan base for Minecraft is, since it's all made up of kids, it's like really cringy because of the things that kids do. But back then it was like the shit, and everyone loved it. I remember
I
watching. That's how I got into YouTube too, is because I was like, how do I do this in Minecraft? So I Google it, YouTube comes up, and like Captain Sparkle's videos comes up, and that's the first YouTuber that I subscribed to. Was
like
Captain Sparkles.
same.
Jordan Marin was the first YouTuber I subscribed
Dude,
to. Crazy.
that guy is buff. Holy
He's buff
shit.
now, and I was with him
I'm
since his first ever Minecraft playthrough, and yeah, I watched him as he transformed into a buff state. I think that's sort of the reason why I kind of wanted to be buff too. I don't know if that was before or after I became buff too, but man, that guy is huge. Not gonna lie.
seeing him be buff is like one of the most intimidating things because it was so out of nowhere that he posted those photo shoot pictures he did.
Yeah. Give me a second.
Are you pulling them up for context?
Ah, sorry about that. What were you saying?
Just seeing those pictures of him was like so intimidating because it's like this is so out of nowhere yet it's so like good for him, you know?
Yeah, it's like when you're watching a YouTuber that you look up to, right? I mean, as a kid, I looked up to him, so I was like, when he was like starting taking better care of himself and stuff, you're just like, yeah, go for it, dude. Why not?
Do you,
Y-
Jordan?
Me? Am
No,
I?
I said do you, Jordan?
Oh yeah, no, I Jarden. That's what I do.
Hard, hurry, hurry.
No, but yeah, I mean, to me, his transformation wasn't that quick because in his videos he talked about like doing that for a while. I think it was in his like ultra modded survival series that he started doing it because I think he started because he turned on like a cheat for keep inventory in ultra modded survival because like losing your items in there was just horrible. So what he would do is he'd keep inventory on, but every time he dies, he would do as many push-ups as the level he was currently at. So like I think that's what started his workout thing. Yeah, but he's got nice cars, so good for him now.
Speaking of which, Jordan, give us a car.
Yeah, I'd love it if you could donate me a car real quick.
We know when you're listening, Jordan.
No, I don't think he watches stuff. Not in really. Why would he? Would it be really funny if he popped in for a podcast named Crapshoot?
I I would lose my mind firstly if I ever got to talk to Jordan, just because I knew him since I was a kid and like I kind of idolized him.
Yeah, it'd be crazy if we could get him ever if we can ever talk to him. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he was the first YouTuber I subscribed to. His first modded Minecraft survival, or first Minecraft survival, just plain vanilla one, so good. It was beautiful. I still remember the cows. But yeah, that was it. Was there a reason why you got into him?
It was my cousin, honestly.
Really?
He was like what introduced me to Minecraft and a bunch of Minecraft YouTubers.
Hmm.
And him, and a couple of our friends that I met through my cousin,
Yeah.
we all made a Minecraft server kind of based off of what they were doing.
Oh.
Because there was like the time where they had the shared server,
Mm-hmm.
uh, where him and like a bunch of other people, like back in like 2014, I think,
Yeah.
maybe even earlier or maybe later, but during that time, I just really, really got into it and like started watching him. And I'd never subscribed to anyone because I never had my own YouTube channel.
Oh, right. You had to make account and everything. Yeah. Yeah. No.
And
Anyway, so there was that. I'll just talk a little bit longer about my experience, and then you can get into yours. I'm really interested to hear about yours, but I think fast forward to like high school. And the thing is, in high school, freshman year was a pretty particularly memorable one for me because that was when I got my first like new gen or like modern gen console, which was an Xbox One. I saved it up enough money for myself after having a lot of birthdays and stuff to buy myself an Xbox One when it came out. And I knew that it was probably a bad idea to do it because it will drop in price like later, sometime later. So I bought myself like a limited edition one just in case I could sell it later if I wanted to. So I bought like the Forza Motorsport 6 edition of the Xbox One, which is like dark blue. The controller's dark blue, and every time you turn it on, it would make like a car revving up engine noise instead of like the Xbox turning on sound. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was my first gen console. Then I got this computer, and that's all I game on now. Is my computer. Sometimes I get on my Xbox. But yeah, that's my experience. What about you, James? Where'd you start at? Your origin.
uh, oh, that was you talking.
That was
That little last part when you said, "What's your origin?"
yeah. What's your origin?
Okay.
Why?
Uh,
What'd you think it was?
it just totally did not sound like you when you said that, and I like freaked out.
Oh, okay.
I thought like my mic was like doubling over or something when I started talking.
I'll have to listen to myself on back on that, but continue.
Uh, I never personally bought any console for myself until like because I remember like every Christmas I would get money from my family and everything because it's it's also my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd get like birthday money during that time and everything, and I would just save that up. And then the Xbox 360 came out, and then like a year later, or not a year, but like a little bit later, they came out with the black one, which was the updated one.
Mm-hmm.
So I saved all my money and I bought one of those for myself.
Hmm.
And it was like really nice because I'd never bought anything for myself ever the first moment. But my first ever console
Yeah.
was the PlayStation 1. I even
Ah.
still have it.
Oh.
It's so insane to like, because I'd forgotten about it because it was my brother's, and I'd forgotten that I ever played on it until he like brought it out. And it's like all the memories came flashing back and everything.
Like PTSD flashback or?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was the PlayStation and everything, and then it like it was that and the Xbox, the original one, not the Xbox One, which is the new one.
Right, the original
But the
Xbox, yeah.
yeah, it was that, and with like all the fucking Xbox exclusives at the time, like
Mm-hmm.
Halo and everything.
Mm.
Stuff like that was just my first time ever like playing games or even having a console to play it on.
Ooh, nice. Is that
Oh, there's my lame ass origin.
that's it?
Not really. I mean, sort of, but like
Oh, okay.
that's how like I got into all of it.
Mm.
The rest is just like my brother would give me a hand-me-down console, or even the Xbox One that I'm using right now was something that like he had bought off one of his friends, which still has his friend's account on it.
Oh. Mm. That's pretty good. Did you have like a I think you mentioned it, but you had like a Minecraft phase?
Yeah, my cousin is like what got me really, because I remember I was like kind of into Minecraft, but my cousin is like what really got me into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like the whole building aspect of it. It was just so much fun.
That's funny
Uh,
because I was never a good builder.
I wasn't either, but I always enjoyed it. And every time I would play with my friends, if we ever like started a new world or something, I'd immediately just start building what I called the the Lucky Clover pub. I would build it every time. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the exact name, but I would build it every time.
So it was a pub.
Yeah, and I would just like give out potions and stuff, but I would call it a pub and like name them after beers and stuff.
Good old lad.
They would always destroy it because they're like, James, stop building this fucking place. I'm like, never.
Like this place sucks. Customer service is terrible. Yeah.
It was always really fun to do.
Yeah. It sounds pretty good. Mm-hmm.
There, okay, so there might be YouTube videos out there
Of you,
of
of the
me.
Lucky Clover pub. Are
No,
there?
of a Skyblock playthrough I did with some of my friends and
So
my
it's out
cousin.
there.
It's out there. I'm not gonna say it. I don't know how to find it either. But
Okay.
I am not the main person. That was my friend who was recording it.
Ah, right, right.
I think I saw it maybe once after they had filmed it, and I never saw it again. But dude, we did some insane stuff on that Sky Factory game.
Oh,
We built like a fucking treehouse fort that got burned down, then we had to rebuild it.
Jesus. Yeah.
We were a bunch of idiots.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think any of those videos will ever be resurfaced again. It's just buried in the pile of all those Minecraft games.
I'm good with that.
You sure?
I do not want the ghosts of my past of what that voice
What if
that
I
I sounded
find
like
it and
was.
re-upload it to my channel?
If you do, I will be very impressed and surprised that you found it.
Both impressed and be like, why the fuck did you do this? How could you do this to me? All right. Well, I guess we can wrap it up now, right? It's been about
Yeah.
a minute hour 40, and yeah, that's been our podcast this time. Uh, yeah. Anything you want to say, James, at the end, or? All right, cool.
Yeah.
This is
Which one of us is the genius? Which one's the idiot?
leave your comments down below. Which one's the genius? Which one's the idiot? Maybe we're just pretending to
You'd
be.
never be able to find out.
The genius and idiots are two sides of the same coin. Very similar. But yeah, that's been the crapshoot. If you have anything, if you want to suggest us anything to talk about, you can send it down the crapshoot. We'll share our thoughts about it. Other than that, though, this has been me with my new mic, and we'll see you next Sunday. Next Sunday.
Bye.
Bye. It's gonna be a fade out, maybe.
Whoa,
Maybe
listen to
not a
outro
fade
music.
out. Oh man, outro
Bro, how
music.
did you get here?
It's